Hello everybody. We're going to be talking about repertoire today. I hope it's going to work for everyone, for all the instruments and for different levels, so to say. But in this video we are going to talk about professional repertoire for a competition. We're going to use as an example next year ARD Competition for Piano Duo, and in the end of the video we're going to tell you what would be our choice for this year ARD Competition for Piano Duo. So let's wait for Alina. She's coming in a couple of minutes, and in the meantime you can prepare some tea or coffee or whatever you drink, because this one is going to be a little longer. See you.
So, I'm here, the tea is hot, and we can start now.
Let's go. Well, I think because it's a main ingredient for your success or your failure. Imagine you're going to spend all this time in preparation with these pieces. You really have to like them. You really have to love these pieces and enjoy all the time that you are going to spend with it. And of course it's everything about you and you being on the stage. So it's, in my opinion, it's extremely important to choose the right one.
Yeah, the choice of the repertoire is very important because it's going to shape you. It's going to shape you and change you while you learn the pieces. And how can it not be important if it's going to actually represent who you are on the stage?
I have marked that the most important thing, in my opinion, is your personality. Obviously. You have to think what fits you the best. Maybe it's one composer. Maybe it's an era. Maybe it's classical era. Maybe you are good at Mozart, Beethoven, Haydn. Maybe Schubert, Brahms. Maybe you are Chopin freak. So you have to think, what would you like to talk about, like in general, because taking these pieces and these composers, you really have to try to go deep into everything that is connected to these composers or to this era, and then try to accentuate, is it the right word?
Mm-hmm.
Accentuate everything you know and everything you have experienced already with this music on the stage during the competition. Then the second one would be your strong and weak sides, which are technique, memory, presence, style, or sound. So you really have to think about what are you good at. Maybe you are a virtuoso and everything is so easy to you that you can basically pick any piece you want and it's not going to be a problem at all. Maybe you're good at memorizing things, so maybe you can go for, I don't know, like Hindemith sonata or something polyphonic like Busoni, Fantasia Contrapuntistica, like this type of pieces, because you are probably not going to experience many problems memorizing these pieces. So it's really up to you, but you have to very carefully think about who you are, what you like to play, and what are you good at, and what are the problems. Maybe you're flawless, no idea. But if you have some problems, you have to try to avoid them, because you are so exposed during a competition that you don't need any extra on top of it?
Of course, your program choice should also depend on the type of venue or like the place you're going to be playing, because there are tons of festivals and concert halls. If you live in a city like Berlin, for example, you have so many different possibilities to perform, starting with museums and galleries and ending up playing in basements and places which are not really built to be concert halls, but they have their own acoustics. So you should really, really think about the venue and just try to pick repertoire that will be acoustically even more enhanced in the acoustics you have at the place.
Yeah, and I have a little example, like imagine a big hall of Berlin Philharmonic. You know, how many seats are there? 2,000 to 500, 3,000? I don't know. It's a huge hall. Yeah. And imagine playing there, let's say, I don't know, some very intimate piece by Schubert for four hands, or Ma Mère Loire by Ravel. Maybe in some circumstances these pieces are going to be really good in this hall, but I imagine it is not the best thing to pick. Like if you are in a very small hall where 150 people maximum, then this piece by Schubert or Ma Mère Loire can be just fantastic. It's going to be, I don't know, like a fairy tale. It's going to be something really, really special. So this would be maybe an example. Maybe you are, you don't think the same way that I think, but this is my way of thinking about this.
There is another element to it. I personally think everything is possible everywhere, but in many cases you'll have to adjust a lot. And starting with the use of pedal and ending up with playing staccatos 300 times shorter than you normally do just because of the acoustics. So we have many examples of pieces which work perfectly well in big halls and small halls, but this doesn't mean that the person is playing the same way. So yeah, just think about that.
So the very last thing is time. How much time do we have to prepare the pieces, the repertoire? What do you think about this?
Well, time management is probably the most important thing in any area. When we speak about music, it's even more difficult to judge sometimes because there are pieces which feel comfortable at the beginning, but then it gets really difficult once you actually go on stage with them. So I would say again, it takes time to get to know yourself first, which we mentioned already, and then you just need to plan enough time to be able to not only learn the music, read the score, but you also need to maybe read a bit more history around this piece, about this composer, about the specific moment the piece was written, because there's so many references always to other composers and other compositions. Then you would also need time to just leave the piece for, I don't know, a week or two to just, be there somewhere in your head and you do play other things, but you just give it a rest.
To listen to the pieces that you are playing, this is going to be such a distraction, especially if you find a really good recording. It's going to captivate your, your emotions, your mind, and you, in this or another way, you are going to start copying this. And this is definitely not what you want to do. You want to find your way to this piece. So maybe as a reference, you may listen to some different variations of this one time in the very beginning, just to have some kind of frame. But even this I wouldn't recommend. Try to do everything from the very, very beginning and not to rely on anyone else. So, speaking about time, the last thing would be to really think about how are you going to manage your time, how many months you do have until the event.
Or weeks. Or days.
Or weeks or days, it's up to the situation. But let's say we're in beginning of January. The competition is going to be in September, beginning of September, I think, or end of August. So you have 8 full months. So think that in this 8 months, you really have to read the scores. You have to memorize it. You have to solve the technical problems. You have to leave this piece for some time. It would be nice to leave the piece for a month, maybe a little bit more, maybe 6 weeks, maybe 8 weeks. It depends on you, of course.
And on the piece, of course.
Yes, you have to try this piece on the stage. You have to try this piece by heart on the stage. So you have to experience the thrill, so to say, of this piece. And then you will have to leave the piece for some time. Then you have to get back. You have to get fit again. So you have to work on all the technical difficulties. During all this time, you really have to keep finding some information, some facts, or some nice, interesting references to this piece. And then finally, already the start-finish line would be, I don't know, maybe a couple of weeks maximum. And you really have to listen to your heart. You really have to listen to your heart and to your mind, and not to overcook the piece. Because sometimes we practice, we're stressed, we're practicing, and then at some point we still have 2 weeks until the event, and we are already done with this piece. We cannot listen to it anymore because this is already annoying. So like these moments, of course I'm exaggerating, but you really have to try to avoid this type of things and to really manage and to be right in the middle between not enough cooked, undercooked, and overcooked. Can one say undercook?
Why not?
So this is going to be my new word in English, exactly for this video for you.
Yeah, I am trying to be more relaxed about the subject, but somehow I get very serious. And I wanted to add one more thing, which is related to the time management. Planning how you're going to practice is very important, and it's the first thing you probably should do. But then practicing behind the instrument and practicing without it and actually really getting inspiration is as important as learning the piece with your hands. So you should really try to reach and find a balance between practicing physically and then just getting in the right mood and just appreciating the whole environment around this music. So if you find this, then it will always be a success, because you will be very motivated and you will play always as if you just started this piece and it's very fresh and bright for you.
Agreed.
Yay. I think the first and most important thing to avoid is pieces that you're really unfamiliar with, that feel strange to you, unknown, and you haven't played at least a couple of pieces from the same composer. It's very often the case that we kind of jump into things because we think, okay, I should learn something new, I should challenge myself. This is a very good thing, and it's correct. But for a competition, you need to be careful and not to push yourself too much, because in the end, you're going to be under a lot of pressure. Another thing to avoid, I think, is to actually avoid the overload of playing only pieces that are, for example, from the classical period, or only polyphony. So you always have a choice of 3 pieces in the competitions program. Try to make this as varied as you can, of course, depending on who you are.
I have one example. I remember as a kid, it was a competition in Russia. I think it was a competition named after Richter. And I remember one Japanese guy, he played a Liszt sonata, Hamol. Then he played Balakirev Islamey. And then I think it was Ravel La Valse. And
in one round?
Yes, it was like semi-finals. He played brilliantly.
It's difficult.
But the thing is that emotionally, these pieces are killing each other, and they are draining everyone, the public and the pianist. I think it's a huge overkill You have to put some things which are going to make the public relax and feel in a different way, because this whole repertoire is, I don't know, it's so difficult. I'm in all the dimensions you can imagine. It's so difficult for the pianist, technically difficult. The Lee Sonata, it's so difficult for the public. 30 minutes of music and not easy music. So you really have to be careful with this. So the very last thing is avoiding certain pieces, because they are too often played. You think they do not fit the frame of the event or some tradition. I have another example I'm going to tell you right now. Too short or too long or unknown.
That's a good one.
I think you really should avoiding these pieces, because it would be so amazing. Like, I imagine myself being in the jury and somebody comes on the stage and plays something that I have never heard, and they're making this in their way. It comes from their hearts and souls, and it's something very new and interesting. I'm going to be applauding standing, because it's the best thing that actually could happen, that our world, musical world and piano duo world, get something new. And if you manage to make it amazing, this is just... So the example, it was about the don't fit the frame of the event or some tradition. Yes, I have an example. Tchaikovsky competition. For so many years, no one played in the finals second Tchaikovsky concerto. And it almost became like a tradition that you shouldn't pick this concerto because you're not going to get to the finals, which is complete... which word I'm allowed to use? It's not true. Really do not think about this way. Play what you want and what you love. This is the most important.
It sounds a little bit like superstition. It's like if you choose this concert that you won't get to the final. It's like, no.
Yeah, so like
Where's the
some people
salt?
Yeah, the salt.
When searching for the competition program, I think you should try to make it as varied as possible, but in the frames of your own personality and your own qualities. It sounds a bit philosophical, but it really isn't. It's something very practical. Just look at the list of pieces, look at the things you have played, ask yourself what you want to learn in the future, and make a list of those things too, and then just try to put one list over the other and see what fits and which pieces can you use and you would like to use. So I think for me this is the most important.
I have nothing to add. Strangely enough, because I love speaking so badly. But nothing.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. No.
And now comes the most exciting part. It was very exciting to compose this program because it's challenging and it's interesting, and we always debate things and we always have many options, and then we try to choose the best one, which changes over time. So, long story short, here it comes, our choice for a program for the ARD competition if we were to participate again.
So we have Mozart Sonata. It's obligatory. It's a preliminary round first. And then we thought to take some Ravel.
Yes.
And the question was La Valse or Daphnis. And we thought that La Valse would be the better idea, because it's one of the beloved pieces by everyone, first of all. Second of all, it's very well done, and there is everything in this piece. It's technically difficult. As a form, it's not easy to play. There are many tasks and many problems to solve. So I think this piece would show the jury on the preliminary round a lot about your playing. And not Daphnis, because this is originally is, I know La Valse as well, but Daphnis is even more orchestral piece in my opinion. And the transcription is not done by Ravel, it's by Grisnov. It's amazingly done, we love this piece, but still it's not Ravel. So this is why we decided to play La Valse. Then the first round, we have Beethoven variations. They're obligatory, so we're playing it. Then we have to play one work or two works or a selection from a work for two pianos or four hands, freely chosen, except Lutoslavski, thank you very much, and Milhaud Scaramouche, thank you very much. At least one work for two pianos is obligatory. So in this case, what do we have there? Yes.
We have the best possible piece ever.
Yes. I know this piece you can choose in the last round or like semifinals, but I think it works so perfectly that you get this Beethoven piece, and then I hope you already got it. Saint-Saëns Beethoven variations. I don't know, in my opinion, it's just a perfect combination. We didn't even think about this round. It's just, I don't know, for us it's just already there.
It's just complete.
Yeah. Then we have second round, 55 minutes maximum.
Yes.
So we had to choose Schubert's piece, but of course you have to think first about other pieces that you are going to play.
Time is important. Time management again.
Yeah. So there are huge pieces there like Grande Sonata, and smaller pieces like Rondo, A major, or Lebensturme. These pieces are a little shorter, so again depends on what you are planning to play as fourth and fifth. So like second and third pieces. Yeah. So we have chosen Isaïe variations for two pianos.
Yes.
I didn't know the piece, so I saw it for the first time. We found a recording. I have no idea how good this recording is or bad. I instantaneously fell in love with this piece, and we really like to play it. Yeah,
it's so interesting. I think we'll play it anyway, even though we're not participating. We will play it very soon because it's really great. And then as a second piece, we chose something that may sound crazy, but it fits us perfectly, and we already have this piece in our repertoire, so it made perfect sense. So along Isaïe goes a piece by Zimmermann, Monologues. It's about 20 minutes, I would say, and it's incredibly beautiful, incredibly difficult, incredibly new. It has so many features, so to say, in it that I can't even describe it. This composer had his very own language and very own style of writing, and I think it's just fantastic music that people should hear. And then the Schubert piece.
The Schubert piece is a Rondo A major. This is what we picked. Yeah. It feels that this one is, for us at least, is perfectly balanced, and this is like almost only chance to play some very modern music, although Zimmermann has written this already, I don't know how many years ago, 50, 60 years ago. Yeah. But still, it's the only chance during the competition to play this type of music. And we decided not to waste it, and this piece is going to be there. So Schubert Rondo A major, Zimmermann monologues, and Isai variations for two pianos.
Okay, so now we move on to the next round, which is the semi-final.
Yeah.
And for the semi-final, everyone has to play a concerto by Bach. Here we had kind of difficulty to choose because, well, we like all of them, and this is a style and a music that everyone should play and know. I think it's just nice to check all of them, and maybe you find one specific place that you really love, and then that's why you choose exactly that concerto. In our case, we chose the C minor concerto, which is 1060.
WV 1060, exactly. Then we have Vassos Nicolaou. This is going to be obligatory piece that we, like all the participants, will have to learn. The only problem here is that we have no idea how long this piece is.
Yeah.
I imagine it's going to be around 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I have no idea. Maybe it's 5, maybe it's 15, but we have to do some kind of estimation to decide what are we going to play as one of the following works for two pianos, and we have a list, and then a piece by Max Reger.
Yeah, we have again a little bit of a time problem here, because it's a lot of music we have to fit, and that's why we need to consider the modern piece as well.
Yeah. So we decided that we're going to play Rachmaninoff because like it feels in our case almost obligatory, because we come from Russia and Bulgaria, and this music, it feels like it speaks to us, and we really enjoy it. We love this music, and we have to use the chance that we have here to play. First or second, doesn't really matter. If there would be a chance to play the dances, I would pick the dances. I think symphonic dances.
Ooh, I'm not sure about that. That's something we didn't discuss.
In this situation, I would go for the second one, because
second suite, yes.
I think it's I don't know, I enjoy more playing the first one. I even believe it's easier in some ways.
Okay.
But the second one, it's just, again, like in the case with La Valse, it's going to show so many things to the public, to the jury, that I don't see a way of picking the first one in this case. For us.
Exactly.
Again,
this is
it's
very individual thing.
Very important.
Yes.
But there is another thing. If we pick this piece, then we have some time problem, because look at this. Semi-final should be around 50 minutes. Any of the Bach concertos is around 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Then let's imagine that the obligatory piece is 10 minutes, so it's already 25. Then we pick Rachmaninoff suite, which is 24.
Yes, the second one is a bit longer.
Yeah, so we are already at 49.
Yeah.
And we still have to play Reger.
Yeah.
So they said around 50 minutes. Let's imagine that 60 minutes is around 50. So in this case, we're going to play waltzes by Reger. Maybe I would play all of them. In case they want to stop us, they will.
Yeah.
But I don't think they will. I think they, like, when there are a couple of minutes left, I don't think they're going to do this. So
it's also a cycle that it feels complete if you play all of them. So I think it's a good idea.
So our choice is C minor concerto 1060, then Rachmaninoff second suite,
yes,
and
then
Reger, the waltzes. And for the finals, imagine.
Surprise!
Surprise, exactly. Which one are we going to play? It's another topic. I have honestly no idea why. I mean, Alina finds this decision very interesting and cool, that everyone gets to play Mozart.
Yeah.
But I would have some choice and maybe play 2 concertos in the finals, or maybe I don't know, play instead of Bach, play Mozart in the 3rd round and then some other concerto in the last round. I feel a little bit claustrophobic in this situation. Maybe because I'm afraid of Mozart. No idea. But
yeah, but this is the most beautiful concerto ever. So I have nothing against everyone playing it.
I'm just imagining, like, in case you really want to hear everything from a participant, I would really love to hear other concertos. This is the only thing that I think about. Otherwise, Mozart concerto fits perfectly. The orchestra is amazing. The whole is beautiful.
Yeah.
If you get to the last round, you're going to enjoy it so much. And yeah, so this is pretty much our repertoire. So, what would be the conclusion to this video?
Sorry, I just ate a cookie.
Bon appetit.
Yeah, the conclusion is that choosing your repertoire is very important, and it's not just very difficult, but it's also a lot of fun. It can be a lot of fun, especially if you're a piano duo, especially if you have enough time to plan things and you're not in a hurry and you're not getting ready for, like, I don't know, 2 months or so. I think it can be a lot of fun. You can discover many things. You can get to know your partner and yourself better in the process. And in the end, you're actually telling a story, and this program is going to mean a lot to you. It's going to mean a lot not only while you learn it, but also afterwards. This period of time which you will dedicate to the whole preparation is going to be for you something that will just be there always. And I feel this is really cool, and we get to learn a lot.
Yeah, I would only say that think about your repertoire. Take your time. Try some things. If you have chance to change the pieces in your repertoire, if you feel like, change them.
Yeah.
Don't stick to one repertoire, and since you decided to play these pieces, then you play these pieces. If you feel it doesn't work, find a different piece. Try to change it, or change the approach to the piece that you have already chosen and you're playing. So play with it. Don't be stiff, and try new things out. This is the most important, because we all are searching for new and interesting things, and we really would like to hear something new from you. Very, very hopefully the competition will take place this year, and also very hopefully we're going to be there, and we are going to be listening to you, and we're very much looking forward, and we wish you all a lot of luck, not only for this competition but this year. Last months are a huge challenge to all of us, and we hope things are going to get better, and we're going to play a lot of concerts and visit a lot of nice, interesting events.
Ты повернулся, меня ты испугала. I am completely naked with... Okay, I can't say this. Okay. So, I said really 5 times. Is that bad? Okay, let's start over. Sorry.
That's all, folks.